so quick. These weeks just go so quick, don't they? But I'm glad to be on here live with you all again. And I hope you've been having a wonderful week and doing lots of fun things with your kids. Please don't forget to do fun things with your kids. Take 10 minutes out of the day, set your alarm if you need to, but make sure you're doing that one-on-one stuff with your kids. I put a post in Pumped Up Parenting about step parents, but and the challenges there are. And for those that don't know, let me pause and tell you who I am. I'm Celia Kibler, family empowerment coach. I am also a step parent, and I've been parenting a blended family successfully for over 25 years. I have 5 children, 2 I gave birth to, and 3 I gained through marriage 25 some years ago. And we've been doing this wonderful expanded family thing. I have 9 grandchildren, and I've been working with kids and parents for, like over 40 years. So yes, I'm old, but that's all right. With age comes wisdom. So I'm sharing all my wonderful wisdom with you guys. Okay. So there's a lot of struggles we have. Oh, let me open up and guys, please say hello, share this out, and also put, your names in the comments, because sometimes with this platform that I use to multi-stream to different groups on Facebook, I don't see who you are. Like it'll say Facebook user, and I'd like to see who you are, obviously. So, okay. So I'm going to put this down so I can see this. Sorry. Hold on. I have to put my coffee down. That's not going to work because I need to drink my coffee. All right. We're just going to do this. All right. Because, too much stuff. So, hello. Who are you? Tell me who you are, because I can't see you and I can only open one group at a time. And this streams to 3 groups. Alexis. Hi, Alexis. How are you? So in this question that I post in the Pumped Up Parenting group, I asked step parents what their biggest struggle was and what they're dealing with. Because I know as a step parent of 25 years, you deal with a lot of stuff. A lot, you're the other parent and not necessarily their parent. But what I wanted to address today applies to everyone. And that is having that difficult conversation that you need to have with your partner, your spouse, whoever that significant other of yours is. There are topics we need to approach with each other that we get anxious about. So I want to talk a little bit about that. Plus, I want to tell you guys about the masterclass that's going on tonight and really encourage you to join it. Because that masterclass for tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time is talking about having difficult conversations with your children, the sex talk, drugs, alcohol, bullying, things that you think they're doing that you just don't know how to approach. We need to talk about this. Conversation is key. Communication is absolutely key. Hi, Bethany. Because what you don't talk about, you act out. Think about that. What you don't talk about, you act out. Think about somebody who is very angry. Think about stepchildren. They get tossed around. A lot of times you're like, oh, my stepdaughter's such a pain in the neck. My stepson's a pain in the neck. This one is being such a bully. But they get caught in the middle a lot, and they're bounced around, and they don't know where they belong, and they don't find their place of belonging because there may be a lot of animosity going on between, parents and people and grandparents and extended family. And they may be hearing things, and all of this stuff might be going on. Even if you are not in a blended family situation, you still can get a lot of feedback. Kids that may have extended family that don't happen to like their mother or father, even if their mother and father are married, they'll hear bad talk about them, and that makes them angry. And then they have to deal with the anger. and you don't know how to approach that. That's what we're going to talk about in this masterclass tonight at 8:00. There's lots of ways to join. There's a way that you can join and it'll be free. There's a way that you can join just for the class itself. If you're in my VIP group, soon to be my Tranquility Tribe, it's included. Okay. Anyway, check it out. Go to pumpedupparenting.com. You'll see, go to courses, and you'll see the masterclass, Having Difficult Conversations with Your Kids. Click on that and it'll tell you all about it. Okay, but let's talk about having a difficult conversation with your significant other. And let me start with a story of mine. When me and my first husband went through marriage counseling, and we wound up ultimately getting a separation and a divorce, because clearly for 25 years I've been married to Rock and his family, and we've become one giant blended family. So it did end in divorce. Hi, Anna, Alicia. We went to marriage counseling first before we finally decided that this was the route we wanted to take. In that marriage counseling, I actually brought up things to Scott, my then ex, that had happened 15 years ago. 15 years ago, and I was just bringing it up. Now, in his defense, how could he possibly defend something or even talk about something that happened 15 years ago? And how did it really relate, except that it had been burning inside me for 15 years because I chose not to talk about it. Hi, guys, give me your names because it only says Facebook user, and I don't know who you are. So please put your names in. I'm sorry. It's just how it is. I have to get you guys to go to Restream and put in your name in there. So when I see it in the comments, I see your name too. So I apologize for the extra work. But how was I expecting him to react to that comment? I mean, I have finally gotten the guts after 15 years, guys, to talk about it. That is ridiculous. That is not his fault. That's my fault. I should have had the strength and the know-how to approach that then and there. But, part of the reason I'm on a mission to stop 1 million parents from yelling at their kids is because of what happens to your head when you are constantly in a situation of childhood where you're yelled at all the time. You wind up feeling a lot like that person that has to always keep the peace. You are the one that becomes the sacrificial lamb, as my counselor said to me. You're the one that becomes the doormat. You have to just decide, you know what? I matter. My feelings matter. And I am going to be strong enough to speak up. Speak up. Please do not wait 15 years to talk about something with your partner. Because by then, the entire relationship could be destroyed. A wonderful, good relationship could be out the window because you're the one that's not speaking up. What happened to me and my first husband 15 years ago was something that I was upset that he had done. But the reason it burned a hole in me was because I didn't feel strong enough to speak up. Speak up. Think about if it's something you're anxious about talking about, think about what is the worst thing that can happen if I say something. What's the worst thing that can happen? Maybe they get mad. Maybe they walk out the door. Maybe they don't come home for, a few hours. Maybe they give you the silent treatment as if we're in high school for like days. And you don't say anything. And they don't say anything. What's the worst can happen? But when you speak up, you get it out of your system. You don't dwell on it. If you're watching me live or on the replay, and if you're on the replay, give me a hashtag after party. Put in the comments something that you're really dwelling about, something that you want to talk about that you're not talking about. And if you're willing to do that, and I know it's intimate and maybe you don't want to do that, so, no pressure here, but if you're willing to do that, maybe we can talk a little bit about that now and give you a little strength to talk up. Don't be the doormat. Don't be the person that everyone walks over. Because that is not who God made you to be. God didn't make any junk. So don't think of yourself that way. Those thoughts in your head, you don't listen to anyone like you listen to yourself. That's the strongest person you listen to in your life is you. So if you're telling yourself, oh, my feelings don't matter, I don't even want to confront it, because if you were yelled at as a kid or you came from some dysfunctional family, you may view yourself as, you know what, I really don't like confrontation. Like me, I went through a lot of my life not wanting any confrontation. So I wouldn't talk about things because I didn't want that. I didn't want to have to start possibly yelling at each other or getting angry. But you're crushing your own soul doing that. You're the one getting destroyed in the meantime. So I really beg of you not to do that. Just speak up. Just decide, whatever. Drink a lot of coffee if you need to. If you need to, drink a lot of coffee so you start talking more. And just say, you know what? I'm going to talk up right now. I'm just going to walk up, okay, hey, I got something I got to tell you. I got to get it off my chest. Blah, 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 whatever it is. And talk about it. And they may be thrown for a loop. Maybe they, will be a little defensive. Try to do it in a kind, compassionate way. Don't just start screaming, because then they will be defensive. Start with a compliment and then go into it, because there's always something you can compliment anyone with. I just had a talk with my husband about how he gets argumentative with me when it comes to group conversation, almost like it's like his horse is bigger. Yeah, because he gets on the defensive. So, Annalicia, try to start any conversation with a compliment. Say something. Say, honey, you know what? I really appreciate whatever you did for me. I wanted to ask you a question. Why, when we talk, do you seem to get angry? I really want our bond to grow stronger and stronger. And the way I think our bond will go stronger and stronger is if we approach situations immediately. We talk about things immediately, and we don't let them go on and go on and go on. And we don't imagine what each other is thinking. Remember, guys, neither of you are brain readers. Mind readers, brain readers. Doesn't matter. You're not. So don't assume that they know what you're thinking. Speak up. That's the only way they're going to know what you're thinking, is by knowing what you're thinking. So really approach it calmly. And that's the way you can approach any difficult conversation with them, because you have to have them. Avoiding them, yeah, sometimes that's easier. In the long run, it's not easier. It's harder, because in the long run, it becomes so much more than it is. All kinds of things build on that problem. So yes, right off the bat, you might be thinking, you know what? I don't have the energy to even approach this. But in the long run, it's going to drain your energy for years to come. So just bring it up. Just talk about it. And Alicia, I hope that helped a little bit with approaching that topic so he doesn't get defensive. And just really tell him how much your relationship means to you. And you want to keep it strong and you want to keep it going for years and years because you love him. Start with good things that do not put him immediately on the defensive. Because it is hard for people to talk to each other. It is hard to have difficult conversations. That's why they're called difficult, because they are. So really approach it in a gentler way. Start that difficult conversation out with compliments, with kind words, and try to keep your responses not defensive either, because you can get defensive too. Try to keep control. Try to stay calm, because once it gets heated, it's all over. Then it becomes a screaming match and nothing gets resolved. So really try to approach it calmly. Hi, Aniko. Hi, Princess. All right. So, guys, I hope this helps. If you want to figure out how to have those difficult conversations with your kids that we need to have, because honestly, think about it. If you don't talk to them about it, Google will. Do you really want them to learn from the internet? No, you really don't want them to learn from the internet, because who knows what they're learning. It is hard. It's even harder trying to make him feel like he always is doing something wrong. Try not to make him feel like, yeah, just do that, do it where you also really dive deep into yourself. And it's a two-way street, guys. Think of where you contribute to it before you talk to them. Think about, how have I contributed to this situation, guys? Take responsibility, because it is a two-way street. There's always something, that you are doing that may be triggering a response. And you really have to be honest with yourself. I know that's not so easy. Gosh, sorry. It's not so easy to be that honest with yourself, but be honest with yourself. Is there something you're doing that's contributing to this situation so that you're not always making him feel like the bad guy or her feel like the bad guy? Life, big part of life is responsibility. Understanding where you're coming from. Before you can understand where someone else is coming from, you need to understand where you're coming from. Start thinking about it, thinking about past triggers, thinking about what you may be doing. Think about those times when you do something and you're like, oh, that I shouldn't have done that. I mean, we've all done it. You're like, ooh, I really shouldn't have done that. Think about those times. What is it that you do every day that causes you to act a certain way or be a certain way or respond a certain way? A little self-analysis will go a long way for you guys. All right. So that's what I want to talk about today. Tonight at 8 p.m., guys, we're going to dive deep into these difficult conversations and how to have them with your kids. Because if you're not having them with your kids, someone's having them with your kids. So let's make sure it's you with your values and your principles and your ideas. Go to pumpedupparenting.com, or you can put a hashtag masterclass. That's even easier. Put a hashtag masterclass in the comments if you want to join tonight's masterclass, and I will get a message to you, or Czar will get a message to you so that you know how to register. Okay? In the meantime, guys, I'm very grateful that you took the time out of your day, because I know we're all busy, to hang out with me for 20 minutes. I know that is valuable time. And I hope you really gained a little insight into having a difficult conversation with your partner. They wouldn't be called difficult if they weren't difficult. Now go a step further and learn how to have those conversations with your kids. Join me tonight at 8 o'clock. Put hashtag masterclass and join me tonight at 8. Hi, Mason, my baby grandson. He's not a baby. He is a big boy. He is almost as tall as me. Mason, I can't wait to see you Sunday either. So the boys are coming. You'll get to meet Mason and Logan next week. But in the meantime, guys, thank you for joining me. I'll see everyone who's going to be in the masterclass tonight at 8 o'clock. And in the meantime, I wish you days filled with peace, love, tons of laughter, because it really is the best medicine. And I'll see you here next time in Pumped Up Parenting and around the web. Bye-bye, everybody.